We know intuitively that the most beautiful things are often the most fragile. A vibrant blossom inevitably curls into itself and drops away into darkness. Yet modern culture remains largely preoccupied with cultivating and judging outward appearances, even with the full knowledge of how quickly they expire. It raises a question about our own mortality. Is there a way for true beauty to survive the passage of time? 4 centuries ago, William Shakespeare addressed this exact anxiety in Sonnet 54, framing the poem as a direct response to the problem of fleeting youth. While it appears to be a 16th century observation of nature, the poem actually functions as a framework for human legacy, questioning what specifically gives a person lasting value. The poem begins its argument by placing two seemingly identical objects side by side. First, the rose, a flower admired both for its color and the rich fragrance it carries. This botanical illustration shows that rose next to the cankerbloom, a wildflower that mimics the rose's appearance but lacks any scent. Shakespeare is highlighting a specific deception here. To the eye, these two flowers are equal, but only one possesses an internal substance. In this metaphor, the flowers represent people. The rose suggests internal merit, whereas the cankerbloom represents pure appearance. Shakespeare uses a rigid 14-line structure, grouped into 3 quatrains with an alternating rhyme scheme. A marching rhythm drives readers forward, like a clock. Near the end is a distinct break, a volta, a turning point shifting focus from the garden. At this point in the narrative, the physical rose dies. Its petals wither, just as every living thing must eventually fade. But as the rose disappears, its invisible essence is extracted and saved. Turning the scent into perfume, that invisible truth is separated from the decaying flower and preserved. Once the volta shifts the focus from the flower to the human condition, 3 philosophical themes emerge. The first is the tension between appearance and reality, the fact that what we see doesn't always reflect what is true. The second is the reality of mortality, acknowledging that physical youth is temporary. The third is the value of inner virtue, which Shakespeare argues is the only part of a person that possesses weight. In Shakespeare's argument, the perfume represents qualities like kindness, integrity, and wisdom, the parts of a person that continue to influence others after the physical body is gone. This diagram shows how he views the role of art. While physical life follows a downward path toward decay, poetry acts as a horizontal line that captures human goodness and carries it forward. We are still discussing these specific ideas more than 400 years after they were written, which serves as a practical demonstration of Shakespeare's theory. In the end, the poem suggests that a lasting legacy is not built on how we look, but on the virtues we cultivate while the flowers are still in bloom.